Folks, I'm here with Isaac Bryan, California State Assembly member. We're meeting right now in emergency circumstances as the fight against ICE has been crippling our nation. Right now we just have a murder in Minnesota with Renee Good. She was just killed by an on-duty ICE agent in broad daylight. I know right now you're introducing a new bill to stop police officers from moonlighting as ICE agents. Can you talk more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a loophole in California law that will allow for current law enforcement officers to take a second job with ICE, and I don't think that should be allowed. I don't think you can sign up to protect and serve a community and terrorize and kidnap people from it at the same time. The city of Los Angeles has passed an ordinance in support of this effort. I expect the city of San Francisco to follow suit very soon, the city of Oakland and others. This should be California policy. This should be policy across the country.
What are your thoughts on the fact that Americans are struggling to afford health care, housing, education, yet ICE has billions of dollars. They're funded more than some modern militaries, and yet they're terrorizing our communities.
I think if you want to talk about waste, fraud, and abuse, look at ICE. Look at the federal government. California, for example, pays over $680 billion in taxes. We only get $600 billion back. That other $80 billion goes to agencies like ICE that then terrorize our communities. Before Renee Good was shot and killed just the other day, Keith Porter was shot and killed on New Year's Eve here in Los Angeles. 2 people were shot in Portland just yesterday. They are out of control. They are using our tax dollars to harm us. At the same time, they're cutting food benefits for struggling families, health care for our seniors, and other critical social safety nets. We can't allow this. We have to step up.
Yesterday, the Vice President, J.D. Vance, he said that ICE agent in Minneapolis has, quote, absolute immunity for the crime he committed of murdering an American citizen. Do you feel like now they're going to let ICE do whatever they want and face even less consequences than cops?
That is not the law.
Yeah.
Fuck J.D. Vance and the couch he came in on.
Yeah.
Right? He wouldn't know the truth if it smacked the eyeliner off of him. What he's using this moment for is sinister. It's evil. Mm-hmm. He walked into the White House press room and demonized a mother who just died in front of her wife for no reason at all. In fact, we found out today her last words alive were, "I'm not mad at you." Mm-hmm. And the last words from ICE to her were, "Fuck you, bitch."
Yeah.
That is this administration. That is unconscionable. That deserves to be held accountable. Those ICE officers should be prosecuted, and anyone who's complicit in it, including J.D. Vance, should face those same consequences.
It's crazy how they released that video today to try and prove that the ICE agent was shooting in self-defense, and all the video did was show that he was targeting her, and he said, "Fuck you, bitch." Like, he wanted to murder her, essentially.
Absolutely. They're detached from reality.
Yeah. Also, what do you think about Trump saying the ICE agent was fighting for his life in the hospital, and yet the car didn't even touch him?
Yeah, he walked away. He was holding his personal cell phone, filming, and his gun. He walked away from the scene, bemoaning and hurling slurs at the woman he just shot at point-blank range. This was an assassination. This didn't have to happen. This was state-sanctioned violence, and we can't just pretend like it was nothing.
We saw Trump say he wants to send the military potentially back into cities this year because we had the National Guard here. They were ordered to leave. Do you think he's going to come back to L.A. and California? And what should we do in response to that?
He won't come back here because we will take to the streets. We pushed them out of Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. They pushed them out of Chicago. They pushed them out of Memphis. They're still showing up with ICE raids continuing throughout our communities, but we show up with resistance in return. Mm-hmm. They're afraid of the people. They're afraid of the midterms. We have to give them a really good reason to be afraid.
Tell me more about the bill you're working on and what people can do, in the state legislature to push back.
Last year, I was proud to co-author a piece of legislation that banned ICE agents from wearing masks in California. Proud to continue to fight in the courts every time there's unconstitutional policing or ICE activity. This bill, this legislation, AB 1537, again, would close the loophole that allows for law enforcement to moonlight as ICE agents. We've seen the chief of police in Philadelphia. We've seen the mayor of Chicago, the mayor here in Los Angeles, step up and say that the city will protect its residents. If you are our law enforcement, you can't allow for our people to be kidnapped. Mm-hmm. Where is the first line of defense for our communities? The fact that we have officers who are considering moonlighting as ICE agents is already unconscionable. We've got to draw a clear line between who they are and who we are. And who we are is right, just, honest, honorable, And who they are is everything J.D. Vance is showing us every day on TV in this moment.
We know police, they're supposed to be serving the community, but at times it feels like they're helping ICE. They're working with ICE. Even in the protests we saw in the summer in LA, police were beating up people for peacefully protesting. How can we make sure that police can actually protect people who are being violated by ICE?
Yeah, the state of California is a sanctuary state. The city of Los Angeles is a sanctuary city. I'm really proud of Los Angeles Unified School District that has its own police force. Under the leadership of Superintendent Carvalho, the school police protected the school campuses at the height of the raids. You were not coming on to that campus. They formed a barrier between the students and ICE agents. Local law enforcement has to think the same way. Local prosecutors and attorney generals have to think the same way. Minnesota needs to hold these ICE agents accountable, and the rest of us should support them in doing so.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. But a lot of immigrants have been killed, specifically in the detention facilities as well. Have you been to some of these detention facilities yet? Or what experiences have you been hearing about from these harsh, treatments of immigrants there?
Yeah, I've heard the horror stories. They're blocking entry for many folks to get in to see the horrors that are happening there. We know about the death of Mr. Alanis, who was fleeing in Oxnard when they were running raids in rural areas of California. There have been many deaths that can be attributed to ICE. Renee Good is just the first visual one that we've seen in this kind of striking point-blank headshot range. But we have to stop this, and we have to stop this now. It is only going to get worse. They're coming into our communities to provoke outrage, to provoke escalation, and then suppress it with lethal force. That is not America. That is not our country. That is the antithesis of every freedom we fought to protect.
You think in some ways they're okay, the Trump administration, with this new level of violence because they like that people are getting angrier at ICE agents? They want to increase the tensions. They want ICE agents to shoot more people potentially? They
like to pretend like they're tough. The president, J.D. Vance, they're cowards masquerading as real men. That's why they need the color of law. That's why they need this fake assertion of absolute immunity, because the real strength is in community. Renee Good was stronger than any of these fools in the White House. Right? When people rise up and put themselves in front of the harm coming towards others, that is courageous. That is strength. That is the best of what it means to be American. I don't know what they're expecting to happen, but I know when harm breaks out, they're going to try to pretend like it wasn't them who caused it. It is absolutely them. It is predictable. That makes it preventable. It's foreseeable. And in this moment, we've got to do everything we can to keep each other safe.
What I'm about to say is kind of a bold concept, but conservatives talk a lot about the Second Amendment, how important it is in the face of a tyrannical government. At this point, there's masked agents going door to door, harassing people. We're seeing a tyrannical government essentially. Should the American people be considering the Second Amendment here, a little bit more?
I think guns don't make us safer. But I do think it'll be a true irony when the stand your ground laws that so many of us have tried to fight to repeal ever since the death of Trayvon Martin result in a lethal incident against an ICE agent. Republican policies harming the current Republican agenda. It is all harm-based, it is all fear-based, and it all has lethal consequences. I think the truest power is in mass mobilization. I think the midterms are coming in November. We've got to kick them out of office. We've got to pay attention at the local level. We've got to fight with vision. We've got to fight with hope. We've got to fight with optimism. We're never going to be able to go head up against a paramilitary like ICE or the co-opted military like the Trump administration has done with the National Guard. We've got to fight with ideas and people.
The midterms seem like one of the best ways to make change within the system, immediately. What kind of accountability could we expect to see, let's say, the Democrats win the House pretty significantly?
We've got to hold our party accountable. ICE has been bipartisan supported for a long time. The kind of harms across this country, a weaker Democratic Party has also allowed to happen. Now is a time for a new round of leadership, a new vision for strength, a new mobilization rooted in improving the conditions of life for all people, making this country more affordable, making this country sustainable, looking to the future, not leading with fear and violence, but with hope, optimism, and solidarity. That needs to be the Democratic Party of the future, but we can't wait much longer. Folks have got to get active now.
Yeah, in terms of the bipartisan support, there was a resolution this year where 75 Democrats voted to express gratitude for Trump's ICE, essentially. What message would you say to members of our party who would support ICE?
Get a backbone. It's no different than the resolutions to honor Charlie Kirk.
Exactly, yeah.
Right? Martin Luther King Jr. and his family had to wait years and years and years to get a holiday, and even then it wasn't universally supported. We have to find our backbone in this moment. We've got to find some courage, and we've got to stand on it.
Anything else you want to add about the work you're doing now, or what you're planning on doing this year? Any goals for you in mind? Anything you want to share at all?
Just don't discount the power of grassroots movements. Don't discount the power found at the local level of government. It is not the federal government that is going to get us out of the mess that the federal government has created. It is everyday people in everyday communities. It is angelic troublemakers like Renee Good, like her wife, like so many others who will not sit back, be quiet, or turn a blind eye to the harms coming out of D.C. Now is a moment for us to show our best self, no matter what's coming out of D.C. And when you hit those streets, know I'm going to be out there with you.
Fantastic. Hey, thanks for taking the time. Appreciate the work you do, and appreciate you for sharing your perspective.
Thanks, Jeff.